Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Gal Gadot and James Gunn just announced that they're working on a totally new Wonder Woman movie that's going to replace that original Wonder Woman 3 she was going to make earlier this year, but then totally got canceled because of all the big DC movies reboot, meaning that she will be one of the Snyderverse Justice League actors to continue as their character in the new DC movies. So we'll break it all down and what's going to be different about this Wonder Woman movie and why she gets to come back, but not Henry Cavill as Superman or Ben Affleck as Batman. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. There's a bunch of big stuff coming up, Ahsoka episodes in a couple weeks. I'll be doing videos for everything. The first big DC series will be Creature Commandos next year, and then the Batman HBO series about Penguin, but they haven't announced release dates for those yet. I'll do episode videos for everything that they wind up releasing, so no worries. The big news this week, though, is that Gal Gadot just confirmed that she was coming back to make that new Wonder Woman movie. We actually learned that she was coming back months ago, though, at the beginning of the year, but a lot of people missed it. James Gunn confirmed it on the slide, just in a regular reply that got buried on Instagram, and he does that all the time. He'll reply to posts, drop huge information, big details in offhanded ways so that it doesn't immediately seem like he's just giving something big away. Most of all the new details on Superman Legacy that we've learned have come from posts like this, with him just answering fan questions or replying or debunking things. For instance, he confirmed David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan would be the new Superman and Lois Lane by replying to a tweet from a trade publication. He didn't say, "I've cast these people in this movie." He just said, "Oh, they're awesome people too," and that was his way of confirming the casting news. So we did the same thing with Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman months ago, and now what's changed is she just confirmed it herself with more official comments like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely coming back, we're definitely making this movie." The difference is that it's now going to be canon to the new DC movies and fit with the backstory of the DC universe that James Gunn is creating. Last year he said that some of the Snyderverse Justice League actors would be recast and some would continue, but the ones that did continue would have their backstories changed to fit in the new canon. So all the previous DC movies are basically Elseworlds now, taking place in other universes, and now she's just another variant like Loki or the Spider-Verse characters. You look very similar to that other version of Wonder Woman in those other movies we just got done watching. What they're doing with the Wonder Woman character just in general in these upcoming DC movies is they'll start in the distant past before she was born and do the story of the Amazons from around 5,000 years ago, right before she was born, meaning that all the gods are still alive and active, and most of the modern superheroes either aren't around or haven't been born yet. But for example, there are lots of ancient characters in the DC universe who are still around in present day. There was still a Green Lantern that was active in Earth's sector during this period. Darkseid, the Forces of Apocalypse, the New Gods, they were all still alive at this point. Dr. Fate existed, but it was a different person wielding the power. Vandal Savage is another big character too. James Gunn hasn't said anything about him, but he's another ancient character who was just around this entire period. The reason why Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3 got canceled last year was apparently whatever she was doing with the character, it completely conflicted with James Gunn's plans for the character in the wider DC universe. They haven't released the full plot, but it would have taken place in present day had at least some of the other Justice League characters crossing over. But given the negative reaction to Wonder Woman 1984, I'm totally fine with him not making that version of Wonder Woman 3. It sounds like it was just going to double down on the vibe from Wonder Woman 1984. Like, do we need to do Steve Trevor again? Does she need to be obsessed with her dead boyfriend again? The plan going forward right now is the Paradise Lost episodes start off the story of the Amazons. James Gunn explained it kind of like Game of Thrones on Themyscira 5,000 years ago, and it'll explain the events of why Zeus created the magical barrier around the island, why they cut themselves off from mankind thousands of years ago, and the events leading up to the birth of Wonder Woman.
We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island.
I'm assuming this means they're going to recast most of the Amazons, though, like a new version of Hippolyta and everyone else except for Wonder Woman. But if she appeared at all during this Paradise Lost series, it'd probably just be as like a voiceover cameo to narrate some of the action or like a post-credit scene. Because if she is born during the events of the series, that happened like right at the end, or the post-credit scene itself would tease her eventual birth. James Gunn didn't say when that series would premiere episodes. Since they haven't done any casting yet, it'll probably be at least 2025, not even counting the delays from the strikes. The new Wonder Woman movie they're making would be like the year after that or later, like 2026, 2027, maybe even later. It'd also be set in present day, and just like Superman Legacy has a whole bunch of other DC big Justice League characters crossing over in it, so would this new Wonder Woman movie, the newer characters James Gunn is introducing. Like, don't be surprised if David Corenswet's Superman shows up in this new Wonder Woman movie, or the new version of Batman that they're doing in Batman Brave and the Bold. Right now, just assuming the strikes don't delay things more, the only DC movies coming out in 2025 are Superman Legacy and the Batman 2 with Robert Pattinson, and that's an Elseworlds movie. Only Superman Legacy is going to be canon that year. There is the Blue Beetle movie that is going to be canon. The Blue Beetle character will come back, but they haven't said anything about doing more Blue Beetle movies, only that he'll show up at some point during the Booster Gold series, but it will be the same version of the character. I'll do more videos for that movie soon. It's like a completely separate thing. That new Batman Brave and the Bold movie probably isn't going to be released till at least 2026 or 2027. That's the main reason why they haven't announced who the new Batman is going to be, because they won't introduce the character for a couple years, so there's no need to cast him right now, and he doesn't want to throw water on Matt Reeves' version of the Batman with Robert Pattinson. So they'll probably wait till after the Batman 2 comes out to actually announce who the new Justice League version of Batman, the crossover Batman, is going to be. But we might see other Bat Family characters popping up in other people's movies before Batman Brave and the Bold, because we know that they're going to be full-on Bat Family in that movie, like Nightwing, Tim Drake, Jason Todd. They haven't said anything about a new canon version of Batgirl yet, just because of the whole Batgirl debacle last year. But they'll probably do her at some point too. We know they're doing both Supergirl and Superman movies at the same time, so it makes sense that they're doing Bat Family. They do some of the female characters of the team at some point too. The main reason why James Gunn is letting Gal Gadot come back as Wonder Woman is because his vision for what he wants his Superman to be is so different from the vibe of Henry Cavill's Superman, and so much younger that apparently he just feels like Henry Cavill would not work as his new Superman, the way that he plans on using the Superman character. James Gunn said that Superman Legacy and his new version of Superman is mostly inspired by All-Star Superman and Christopher Reeve's Superman and Clark Kent. On top of that, one of the big differences from Henry Cavill's Superman will be the way more focus on the corn-fed Clark Kent side of his character as there is on the Superman Kal-El side of his persona. In the majority of Henry Cavill's Superman was focused on him as Superman, like God-tier Superman, in very small amounts of Clark Kent. So even though I do think that Henry Cavill still could have done a solid version of Clark Kent, I think James Gunn wanted an actor that just felt a little bit more like Christopher Reeve's Clark Kent. And Henry Cavill's Superman and Clark Kent were kind of like the Giga Chad versions of those characters. And his new Batman is supposed to be much younger than Ben Affleck's Batman, even though I think that he would have used Ben Affleck again if he could. Ben Affleck himself previously told the studio, and James Gunn probably, no more Batman for him. Like, he basically said he was out. But the joke about that, and I did a couple videos about this a while ago when I was doing Flash movie videos, is since he said that, he's also clowned on himself, like Ben Affleck has clowned on himself, feeling that he finally nailed Batman during the Flash movie. Like, it was meant to be his big swan song, but he finally nailed the character, and now he kind of wants to come back a little bit, but he said that in a joking, tongue-in-cheek kind of way.
And it's my best shit I've done. I finally figured out how to play the guy.
No, really?
I got it.
For real?
I was like, hold on. I quit. I know I quit. And I know I came back to it. But I got it now. But it was a scene where I get caught. I get saved by Wonder Woman during a conflagration with some bad guys. Saves me with the lasso of truth.
Yeah. Sure.
And so what happens is that Batman divulges, some of his real feelings about his life and his work, and
it helps you see the character, and now you want another chance to play it.
And I was like, wait a minute, I got it. Am I still? Wait, can I, guys?
Are we still rolling? Can we write another
story? Am I Finland?
I did a video for James Gunn's new version of the Justice League recently. He just announced Nathan Fillion as a version of Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and now it seems like his Justice League will be a lot closer to the animated version of the team than the Snyder version of the Justice League.
This was a gift from the head of my makeup department over at Castle. Her name is Debbie Zoller. Thank you, Debbie. I'm looking at the reflection. Thank you, Debbie, very much for my shirt. I told you it would come in handy. And I think it brings out the green under my eyes. We got a new home to build. Come on. I'll tell you about the time I took on an army of manhunters and my only backup was this squirrel.
Now, he has played Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, before, but that was in the Emerald Dawn movie years and years ago after the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern happened. So the funny thing there is that there had been a fan theory about him being an awesome Hal Jordan, like he'd be amazing as Green Lantern, going back to his days on Firefly, like that's how long this fan theory had gone on. But then the studio cast Ryan Reynolds. We know how that went down. He's been making fun of his time as Green Lantern for years through all the Deadpool movies. And since then, Nathan Fillion has played multiple DC characters, also in live action for James Gunn, and been in a ton of live action Marvel movies. Let me know in the comments, who do you want to be on this new version of the Justice League, if it's going to be a completely different type of team than the Snyderverse version of the team. There's a bunch of stuff coming up. Ahsoka episodes will start in a couple weeks, so my episode videos for that will start real soon. I'm working on a new Fantastic Four video, new Blue Beetle trailer video. Be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of that stuff. Click here for my Loki Season 2 trailer video, and click here for that new Green Lantern Justice League teaser. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.